Oh, okay, so I wanted to get into this movie with a positive attitude, with a positive mindset, because I hadn't seen this movie in years. I don't know, the last time I saw this was before I hit adolescence. Um, and oh my gosh, after rewatching it, I remembered how bad it was. When you go into something with a positive attitude, that a positive attitude immediately gets jinxed when you're reminded how bad something is. And for me, it was that fucking scene where Grant is talking to Ellie at the table about how raptors can vocalize, which kind of makes sense because they were sort of vocalizing in the previous movies. But this scene, which I actually found interesting to begin with, is like immediately like just cut with a wipeout cut with him getting in the car. It is such an abrupt cut from dialogue to someone getting into a car. It was, oh my gosh. As soon as I saw that, as soon as I saw that, I was reminded, oh shit, yeah, I'm in for a ride here. But, and then there's of course the talking raptor.
Alan.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, we have hit rock bottom. Anyway, this movie also has the characters do the dumbest fucking things in a movie.
Ben!
Oh my gosh, like using a fucking megaphone, and then her husband like talks to, like is yelling at her to stop, to try and stop her from yelling while he's yelling, and she's yelling back at him, and he's yelling back at her. It's like, what the fuck? You're on a fucking island full of dinosaurs that can hear you. What are you doing, mate? It's just stupid. It's just like, oh man, the writers had to have known how stupid that would fucking look. They would have had to have known how stupid it would look. Also, like that fucking Billy kid who deserves to fucking die but really doesn't when he survives at the end. What? Wow, that was a bad decision. But he takes Velociraptor eggs. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. This movie has some really dumb scenes too. For example, there's one where our characters are looking through some dino shit. This is way later in the movie. So they're looking through some dino shit, and a T-Rex-ish looking dinosaur, I don't know if it was a T-Rex, it was probably something else, but it looked like a T-Rex. And it comes up to them while they're looking through the dino shit, and it just stares at them. And then just goes, walks away. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Is that just like, are you just trying to sell toys? It honestly feels like they're just selling toys or just coming up with new attractions for their universal ride. I don't know. And it makes me feel like that because this movie in itself, in general, just goes from dinosaur to dinosaur. It doesn't feel like a survival movie like the first two were. It feels like a commercial, because they go from the Spinosaurus animatronic whatever that is so clearly animatronic, and they go from that to velociraptors to pterodactyls to that other T-Rex looking dinosaur. It's like, what are we doing here? Are we just selling toys? Like, what's the point here? I will say though, and this is a positive-ish thing, I will say this movie did have a few scenes that were actually tense, that actually like caught me off guard. That, you know, like, oh shit, that's scary. But it's how the writing sort of creates this tension. I'm doing bunny ears right now. It's how the writing creates this tension, and sometimes immediately cuts tension. Okay, first example, the raptor that was standing behind that huge glass thing full of water, and it's just standing still. It's just like, and then starts moving its little eye. It's like peekaboo. It's like, wow, it actually got me at first, and then I started, using my brain like a human being should, and realized, what the fuck is a fucking velociraptor doing standing still trying to spook people? Like, it's a dinosaur. I guess you could get away with that in the next movie with the Indominus Rex because of how smart it is, but in this movie, it's just a normal raptor, for fuck's sake. It's like immediately, like at first watch, it's like, oh shit, that was a little scary. But then later, when your brain thinks about it, you're like, ugh. And then as I said, like how the writing cuts tension. There is this scene where Grant and that little kid that pops in later is running from the Spinosaurus along this fence. It was kind of suspenseful. I mean, they could have kept that tension, and they could have just kept running, and it's like they could have nearly died, but they kind of don't because they conveniently find a hole in the fucking fence. It's like the writers could have had a really tense scene on their hands, but they just create this really convenient hole in the fucking fence for them to go through. Also, why is there a fence on this island?
That was Isla Nublar. This is Isla Sorna. Site B.
Previously, earlier in this same movie, we are told that this island that they are on is Site B, which is what we were introduced to in the second movie, the last movie, The Lost World. And in that movie, we were told that Site B has no walls, fences, or borders.
With dozens of species living in their own social groups, without fences, without boundaries, without constraining technology, and for 4 years, I've tried to keep it safe from human interference.
Also, in that previous movie, The Lost World, the pterodactyls in the last shot you can see are flying around with all the other dinosaurs. And then in this fucking movie, they're in a fucking bird cage. What the fuck are they doing in a bird cage? This is Site motherfucking B, motherfucker. This was meant to have no walls or borders. Why are they in a bird cage? It's like the writers of this movie just like didn't give a shit about the last movie. Oi. Sorry, I honestly didn't want to rant that much about this movie because I did want to go in with a positive mindset. And I did want to be positive about the movie in general because, honestly, you can watch this movie and have fun. If you don't want to use your brain for, like, the amazingly short runtime of this movie, then you don't have to. You can just watch it and be like, oh, that's cool, that's kind of scary. But then when you immediately turn on your brain, you realize how shit this thing is. And that's all I have to say. If you want to sit back and relax about the movie, good on you. You can do that. But if you actually want to watch a good Jurassic Park movie that is meant to stay consistent with its own franchise, then no, you're not going to get that. You're just going to get slapped in the fucking face. Anyway, that's my review for Jurassic Park 3. Also, really quickly, I'm going to say I don't hate this movie. I just don't care enough about it, okay? So, whatever. I'll see you in my review for Jurassic World, which is a movie that I don't actually hate. I actually kind of like that movie. So I'll see you in that review.